Hey everyone! Oh my gosh, welcome back. I'm doing a bonus episode with Bella, and I know it's been a while. And the last episode that we recorded, Bella, was exactly a year ago. Like August 12th is when we did our last episode. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do.
It seems like I thought it was more than that, but it was only a year. And that last episode, you were talking about skydiving. You had 2 more days of packing up and leaving the house. And then you're off to your first year in Utah. Do you remember
That's
any of it?
crazy. I can't believe that only happened a year ago. That's
So,
actually insane. That
right.
I was, wow, that's hard to process.
The process, like, tell me a little bit more about that. Like, you feel like so much has happened. Like, how would you summarize that?
Well, okay, so last year, I guess it feels like such a long time because I graduated and like moved to college in the same year.
Yeah.
So that just like blows my mind each time I think about it. But yeah, so much has happened between
Yeah.
this year and last year.
And of course, we didn't anticipate what the turn of events would be. And so
Yeah.
I was re-listening to that last episode and thinking, oh, this is our last one, and letting you go. It's kind of like the letting go, transition. But the bonus is, I think there are a lot of us parents that want to know, like, how did you do that first year with COVID and online learning? And where are you now? Because I think it might be a bit controversial that you are going back to college during this COVID term.
Yeah.
And I really would love to kind of take our families that are listening and even just ourselves through that year. So can we go way back in time
Okay.
and just talk about that first term? So first term, fall, you had the move-in day, and then we left.
Okay.
What was that first term like for you?
It was really scary, I'm not gonna lie, because I was really nervous that I wasn't gonna make any friends, or like I was, but I knew it was gonna take a while. So I was like, okay, there's gonna be this period where I'm gonna have to be alone, and I'm just gonna have to deal with that. And I had no idea who my roommate was or who my roommates were because we had four other girls. So it was all very nerve-wracking. And then in the back of my mind, we'd be like, okay, my parents are going to be like a couple states away now, so I'm kind of on my own. But it was that was like the scary part. But then once I met all my roommates and we hit it off right away, I was like, okay, this is going to be a good first term. But it was difficult, but also really fun, like independence wise. And like I got to find myself during that first year of college.
And see, that's like the fantasy that we all hope to, like, it would be like. I think we sell to teenagers and like seniors, like, oh my, or even younger, we sell college, like, oh my God, that first term, it's going to be like the time of your life. You're going to meet your roommates that will be friends for a lifetime. And then, some of it, I didn't have that experience. Like, here's the dark sides of the first year college experience.
Yeah.
For you, it really did truly happen, which was so amazing as a mom watching you unfold. And, again, like hidden in the cracks, like we only did a once a week kind of
Check in.
check-in
Yeah.
FaceTime. And I remember at move-in day, you didn't see one of your roommates before we left, and you were looking at her stuff like, oh, I don't know if we're gonna have a lot in common.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
But
what happened to
oh
her?
no. Well, we became really, really close friends. So that was amazing. Like we hit it off right away, like immediately. And now we're living together. So that was a turn of events.
So you got through that hump. You ended up like the living and breathing, and maybe the eating was questionable.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. No, I'm not going to say though that it was an easy year because it wasn't. It was actually a really hard year on me, like stress-wise, and it was difficult like not having like my family there in person. But although it was hard, it was like nice to have people going through the same thing as you, and then you're kind of like all in the same boat together. You kind of create like a dorm family for the time being. But yeah, college first year is definitely it's a like hard transition. So
Yeah, and then one thing that surprised me as your parent was that you all of a sudden said, "Oh yeah, I applied for a part-time job," and "Oh yeah, I have this internship." And I'm like, "Oh,
yeah.
you're gonna be okay." What made you want to have the additional layers of? I don't know if it was stressful for you, but you wanted other things in your life. Tell me that. Like,
Yeah, it was because it's a growing stage for yourself personally. So you're trying like all these things that you don't know if you're gonna like, but you might as well just try it out. And the internship, I actually did the internship because they said I got to take home the midterm.
oh,
So that's why I did the internship. But it turned out to be a like really great experience that opened me up to now a new major that I want to do. So that was very interesting. That was kind of like fate to
yeah,
happen.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, I need to get a job at least to like keep myself busy. So I don't know. I just was like wanting to try all these new things to keep myself busy and just to like explore.
I think it was pretty funny. It's a dark comedy now that we look back, but when you were telling me that you showed up for your first, you worked at a bagel stop or shop, and
Yeah.
that you were describing you going to work at like 5 in the morning in the snow and then chopping onions at 7 a.m. to me was just like something I couldn't even imagine.
Uh,
No.
yeah. That was an interesting job. That was, but I made money, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, that motivated you enough.
Yeah.
The final thing about that first term experience was, a lot of students that I work with, they're from California and they dream of just something so different. And they always say, "Oh, I want winter. I can handle winter. I just want something completely different from sunny California." Any thoughts about that?
Um, okay. In California, if you have never lived in snow before, it is so overhyped. Like I just think I hate snow. I hate it. It's nice to look at when you're inside and it's like Thanksgiving and the snow's falling and like you have a white Christmas, like the movies and everything. But living in it for 6 months is awful. It's so awful. Like you wear the same outfit every single day because it's the same layers every single day. But Utah is so beautiful in the summer. Like right now, I didn't get experience this last year, but it is so beautiful here in the summer. It's insane. So it has that.
Yeah, so I guess
So
that's what they say in terms of I want seasons because there's something
yeah,
you
yeah.
pay for something that you look really forward to.
Fall is also amazing. But when that winter, when the snow comes in, I'm don't like it.
In survival mode. So
Yeah.
then let's move on. Like, so then that was your transition with first year. We're all celebrating, like, just wow, that was so amazing for you. I was so happy for you. And then COVID hits. And so what you thought was going to be like, oh, let's finish up this traditional year, all of a sudden your family's coming to get you.
Yeah.
Talk about COVID a bit, like how, what you want to process in terms of that transition and then you suddenly being home.
So like I said before, it was a really hard year without you guys there with me. So when we got the notice that I was able to go home early, I was actually really excited for
Mm.
you guys to come. I was like, okay, this is perfect timing because I needed to go home like right then and there. So it was really nice that transition actually. It was hard to say goodbye to everyone so abruptly though, because we had no idea. All of a sudden it was like, okay, I have to go home. And then they got like a day notice of me leaving. Um, and then when I got home, it was so comforting and everything. But then the online classes hit, and I'm like, this is so difficult to do online because all of our finals were online, and I was like missing that in-person interaction with the teachers, or like when I needed to ask them for help, especially for film. That was so difficult. Like we didn't have any of the equipment, and it was also frustrating too because we put like so much money into college, and then now I don't even have like any of the resources that I paid for. So that was frustrating for the whole process. But also losing the independence of being in Utah was a difficult adjust to being home.
I mean, first of all, I remember you trying to do your final for your film production class, like on your iPhone.
Oh yeah.
you're just like, you had all this massive equipment and all of a sudden you're just like, leave me alone, everybody. And you're just kind of like doing this with your editing.
That that was so stressful because he was like, just film it on your iPhone. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, and then I did feel like there was that honeymoon stage of, oh my God. I think so many families experience this, whether they had the college student, their adult student, or their younger student just being at home all the time. And it was just like, oh, together time. This is so amazing.
Yeah.
But I think we counted over 100 days of full time being together. And like you mentioned, there was this wall that you kind of hit, like, okay, where's my independence now? How difficult was it for you to manage the being a child, like being treated like a child in my home, and then knowing what adult life is like?
Yeah, that was definitely difficult because when I was my first year, if I wanted to do something, I could just go. Cuz like you guys were not very strict parents, but I still had to say, "Hey, I'm going here. Like I have to be home by this time. I have to tell you where I am like constantly at all times," which I didn't mind, but it was just such a different such a different environment. So when me and my roommates wanted to go get slushies at like 1 a.m., we're just like, okay, let's go. Like, I don't have to like ask you permission or anything.
Yeah.
So going home, and then I would like FaceTime my friends at like 10. I would have to like whisper into the mic because everyone would be sleeping.
Wow.
So it was just like an interesting adjustment for sure.
I really felt like there wasn't a lot of tension, though there was some tension where I felt like it's time to let you go back, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think we both felt that
Yeah.
in this situation. Like at first, for like the first month, we're like, "Oh, we're so happy to be together," and then that's when we're both like, "Okay, when is this COVID quarantine gonna be over?"
I love you so much, though.
Yeah,
Like, yeah. So, and I think that, so kind of transitioning from that, it's that decision of letting you go back. Many families, I'll have to say, I'm picking on the mamas. They're like, why? I wouldn't, it's scary out there. COVID, I mean, it can kill. And it's, many people are very fearful. And when I say, nope, I was ready. I let her go. Like she's going to navigate. She's in her own apartment. So, some of them are really don't agree with that decision. Others will be like, oh, okay. And for me, I felt so sure about it just because I didn't want you to fall. I say this over and over. I didn't want you to fall into obedient daughter long term because you're at that age where it's like, I want you to be uncomfortable and experience adult life. What, in terms of the decision of letting you go, and if you could talk, like your audience right now is more on to the parents. Is it scary out there? Are people being careless? Do you see a lot of illness or recklessness? I mean, tell me about what life is like there on your own.
Well, for me personally, I don't think it's scary. It's kind of the same as it was back home because me and my roommate we're still quarantining. We're still in quarantine here. So we've been just like at home and only going out for like grocery shopping or getting things for the house, just like those small things. People in Salt Lake City, they wear masks, we wear masks. It's a requirement here. It's the same as anywhere else. I just don't have my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I really don't like need them here with me because I'm about to be 20. Yeah. For me, having my parents still there for me is personally, I just don't feel comfortable with that. I want to start paying my own bills. I want to start paying for my own groceries, which I'm doing. I'm paying for my own groceries and everything around the house, my own clothes, and it feels good. It feels really good. So I don't think it's scary. I think it's just a part of growing up for me personally.
Yeah, I trust her. I trust you. Like, because being safe and navigating safetiness and COVID, that's something that you should be ready to take on.
Yeah, it's our world. Like that is the world we are going to have to live in. I think like, wait, let me rephrase what I'm about to say. Okay. So yeah, I think our world is a pretty scary place, but we are gonna have to live in that eventually and on our own, unless you want your kid living with you until they're like 40 and then in their basement. So
Yeah.
it's just something that we're gonna have to grow accustomed to anyways. And there's a lot of good out there in the world too. Like I see it every day. Me and Mallory were in Starbucks and the guy in front of us paid for our breakfast.
No way. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, it
cool.
was really cool. So
That happened to me
small
yet.
things here and there.
That happened to me. That's really, yeah. You hit a really good point. I refuse to think how long term this new lifestyle will be. I think a lot of us are just holding our breath, thinking it's going to be short term. It'll be over
Yeah.
soon. You kind of hit like, so, but what if it's not? And are we going to have our kids in our home for 10 years
Yeah,
and for 30
exactly.
and 40? And there has got to be that letting go and trusting them navigating the world. You start school again, second year of college,
Yeah.
and
Sophomore year.
next week. And half is online, half in person. Any thoughts about returning to that difficult online experience you had in the spring?
Uh, I'm like split because the fact that the school has told us that we're going to be in person is frustrating because it's really not safe in this time right now. One person gets sick and it's immediate shutdown. And I just think that's kind of careless on our college's side. But then again, like online classes are hard. So I'm thankful that at least one of mine are in person, but still, I just think it'd be safer if they just told us it was going to be online. Because
Yeah,
that way we could have saved so much money
yeah.
in classes this year. But yeah, that's
There
my thoughts.
There was the other debate, and the great debate, I'm calling it the great debate within our family, is the cost. And it's like not knowing if it's on full online. It's like you could do your GE, finish it up
Yeah,
in
exactly.
college, and um, but still, could you imagine? And one of the things I think about, like, but even if we say, save money, go to community college, but you would live here, you would still live here in our house, your home. Is that something that you would have been able to endure?
I don't think so.
That's how
Yeah, I
tough.
don't think that would have been a rough. So yeah, I don't think I would have been able to.
And I think it's a great compromise. Like you said, I still want my own place. I'm going back to Utah. You've got your skin in the game in terms of helping for the finances.
Yeah.
Um, just kind of the sidebar on Utah. It's a Western undergraduate exchange, so they got this great scholarship. So it was great that we were able to pull it off.
Yeah.
Yes, the last thought, if you could share, is for those for those parents, usually it's the parents or even the family debate, who are wondering if they should allow their young adult to move out or not. I mean, any guidance or something from your perspective as a young person to share with the parents?
Maybe I would like ask yourself the question, like, if not now, when?
Mm,
Because I understand that it's scarier with like this pandemic going around, but we don't know how long this is going to last. And if you're not ready to let them, fly out of the nest, then when is it going to happen? Especially 19. Like, this is my last year of being a teenager. Like,
right.
when I'm 20, I expect to be paying for everything that I want. Like, in college, I want to pay more than what I'm paying now for my own education. So, yeah, if not now, when will they learn how to grow up? Especially because this is their developing stage. They're going to be able to grow in this time. They learn so much, they make new friends. This is when they find out like what they want to do. And if they're at home, like how are they going to experience that? How are they going to find themselves in those like really crucial years? But it is also an opinion. So I'm not a parent, so I can't say anything because I don't have a child, so I wouldn't know. But that's just my thoughts.
Well, I'm going to leave you with the last word. I think that's just so wise to say. And you help me reflect in terms of a parent, if not now, then when? And what do I need as a parent to trust myself in that decision is really important. And and also just so grateful to hear you say like just how mindful you are with expenses and really wanting to take, because we do have this motto at home: you're not truly an adult until you can financially support yourself, right?
Exactly, because right now I'm still depending on you guys. So I'm not really fully independent, and therefore I don't, legally I'm an adult, but technically, like, I just don't feel like a full adult yet until I'm paying for everything. So
Actually, I just really appreciate you like striving for that, like wanting to strive
yeah,
for that. It's
no,
such a,
I definitely want that.
oh my gosh, well, thank you. And then your dorm looks so cool and hip. Uh,
Yeah.
Taking the time out of your adult life to spend time with mom and just kind of process what this last year has been like. Perhaps this is the, who knows? I'm not going to say this is the last episode anymore, because I might say like, oh my God, you're getting married.
Yeah, I'm 30 and I'm having a baby. What's
No,
that
okay,
like?
cut, cut. All right, well, you have a good one.
Okay, you
Love
too.
you.
All right, love you. Bye. Can I show you my room then?
Yeah, show me.
Okay. So,
I love the lights. It's so cool.
it's coming along. So you know this wall.
Yes.
Then these are the lights.
So is that like a Christmas light that you tacked up? Or is it
No,
sticker?
it's literally LED lights. It comes with this,
Oh my gosh, that's so,
and I like you can fade it
dude.
so it
It
like
is
goes to different
amazing.
colors.
I love
And then
it.
this is my bed.
Is it
I found this.
comfortable?
Yeah, it is. I don't need anything else. I just have the mattress. And then I have this cute stand.
That's totally cute. Is that
Um,
pink rock or crystal?
yeah, Mallory gave that to me because she wasn't using it.
Oh,
It's like a
pretty.
lamp, so it goes like, hold on.
I love the baby's breath. Oh, it's so romantic.
And then this is the thing I got for $5.
Oh, wow. That's pretty
Yeah,
great. Is that the same thrift store?
yeah. And I got that for $5 too. My mirror.